राजराजाचिता राज्ञी रम्या राजीवलोचना रञ्जनी रमणीरस्या रणत्किङ्किणिमेखला रमा रागेन्दुवदना रतिरूपा रतिप्रिया रक्षाकरी राक्षसग्नी रामा रमणलम्पटा काम्या कामकलारूपा कदम्बकुसुमप्रिया कल्याणी जगती कन्दा करुणारससागरा कलावती कलालापा कान्ता कादम्बरी प्रिया वरदा वामनयना वारुणी मदविह्वला.
By Rajaraja, Rajarajachita, Rajaraja, Manu and Kubera, or the Vidya of Kubera and others. The Durvasas in this Lagustita, when he describes the space between the 14 and the 15 walls, says, I meditate upon Kubera, the head of a wealthy family, in the eastern part of that place of Vayu, and upon the other Yakshas who depend upon the feet of the mother, such as Mani Bhadra and others. Queen, Ragni. Because she is the queen of Rajarajeshwara, Shiva, the beautiful one, Ramya, with eyes like those of a deer. Rajiva Lochana. Rajiva, according to the Vishwa, means deer, fish, lotus, a dependent of a king. In the latter sense, she looks favorably on those who depend on the king's bounty. Delighting, Ranjani. Her devotees or Ranjani, dying. By her presence, the rosy tinted Devi colors the pure Paramashaiva as the red flower colors the crystal. Gladdener, Ramani. Of her devotees, the Shruti, Chandogya Upanishad, part 8 says, laughing, playing, and rejoicing. She who is to be tasted, Rasya. The Shruti, Taittiriya Upanishad, part 2, verse 6 says, he is alone the essence, having a girdle of tinkling bells. Ranat Kinkini Mekhala, Rama, in the form of Lakshmi. The Sutta Samhita, part 4, verse 47 says, she appears like a dancer in the form of Lakshmi, Saraswati, speech, etc., having a face like the full moon. Rakenduvadana, in the form of Rati, Ratirupa, the wife of Kama, or Rama indicates eye. Rakenduvadana Anushwara, thus the Karmakala mantra is indicated here. Beloved of Rati, Ratipriya, protector, Rakshakari or Raksha, the holy ashes, that is the protector and destroyer, slayer of Rakshasas. Rama, woman, or yogins, delighted in her. Ram means to delight. The Linga Purana says, all men are Samskara, all women Devi. The names which denote masculine gender are said to be of Shiva, and those which denote the feminine are the manifestations of Devi. Thus, women and men are the manifestations of Devi and Shiva. The Vishnu Purana also says, the divine Hari lives in the form of a man among the Devas, animals, men, etc., and in the form of woman, O Maitreya. Lakshmi lives, and there is none higher than these two. The Brahma Vaivarta Purana also says, whatever in the three worlds appear in female form, all that, O Devi, is thy form. Thus is declared in the scriptures. Hence, the Brahmanda Parashara Smriti says, as woman, are pleased or displeased, so the gods also are pleased or displeased. If they are pleased, the family increases. If they are displeased, the family is spoiled. Devoted to her husband, Ramana Lampata, as she is the collective form of woman, she makes each woman devoted to her husband, or Ramana, enjoyment, play, Lampata, devoted. To be desired, Kamya, those who desire liberation, desire to obtain her by knowledge, or Kamya, is the deity of the 12th night of the dark fortnight in the form of Karmakala, Karmakala Rupa. There are three Bindus and the Hardakala. In these, the first Bindu is called Kama and the last Kala. According to the rule of Pratyahara, Kamakala includes all four. The real nature of that Kamakala is set forth in the Kamakala Vilasa from the verse beginning. The Parashakti is in the form of the sprout, expanded out of the union of Shiva and Shakti, till the verse Kama means desirableness, and the Kala the same. The two Bindus in the middle represent the sun and the moon, or Kama, both Shiva and Devi, and Kala, manifestation. This is explained in the Tripura Siddhanta. O Parvati, Kala is the manifestation of Kameshwara, Kameshwari, hence she is known as Kamakala, or she is the manifestation, Kala, of desire, Kama. The Kalika Purana says Devi alone is indicated by the word Kama. Devi is called Kama because she came to the secret place in the blue peak of the great mountain Kailasha along with me for the sake of desire, Kama. Thus, Devi is called Kama as she is also fulfilling desire, desiring, desirable, beautiful, restoring the body of Kama, Manmatha, and destroying the body of Kama. Hence, she is called Kama. Fond of Kadamba flowers, Kadamba Kushuma Priya, beneficent, Kalyani, or according to the Padma Purana, in the Malaya mountain, she is worshipped as Kalyani or Kalya, good words, Ana, to utter. Root of the word Jagatikanda. According to the Yadava, Kanda means filling, root of plants, cloud, ocean of the waters of compassion, Karunarasa Sagara, possessing sciences, Kalavati. The sciences are 64. Her ordinary conversation in science, Kalalapa, according to the Amara, Kala means sweetly sounding, Alapa, speech, or Ka, Brahman, Lala, saliva, Apa, attainment. The attainment of the Brahman becomes through her grace, as natural as the flow of saliva. Beautiful, Kanta, or Ka, Brahman, Anta, final. Brahman, unconditioned, is her final form, or she is the deity called Kanta of the 11th night of the dark fortnight. Fond of mead, Kadambari Priya. The Shruti Tripura Upanishad says meat, fish, flesh, cooked cereals offered in the triangle on behalf of the great Devi, the lucky devotee, recovering his self, attains perfection, granting boons, Varada, to Brahma, Vishnu, and other devotees. This is said by Narada in the Matsya and Padma Puranas. When I told you of this Devi, about her, ever uplifted her hand, for this uplifted hand of Devi ever confers boons. She will become the giver of boons to all devas, daityas, and ascetics. As in the world, The hand is the instrument of giving. Here, the hand of Devi is said to confer boons. In reality, the expression means simply to fulfill the desire of the gods, not having the emblem of granting boons. Acharya says, Saundarya Lahari, verse 4, with the expression of yourself, all the bands of deities by their hands confer respectively gift and protection, though alone doth not to do this. The Devi Bhagavata Purana also says she fulfills the desires of devas who seek boons. From the root vr to choose, she is called Varada, conferrer of boons, that is, giver of the thing chosen. In the Varaha Purana, also in the chapter on the Vritra Suravadha, this Devi is always to be worshipped by concentration on the ninth day. She will certainly become the giver of boons to all worlds. Beautiful eyed, Vamanayana or Vama, fair, and Nayana, literally meaning eyes, that is proofs, or Vama, the left path, Ne to lead, or Vama, the fruit of action, because in Shruti Chandogya Upanishad, part 4, verse 15, where the word Vama occurs, it is explained. Perturbed by the intoxicating liquor, Varuni Madavihlala, Varuni Mat, belonging to the region of Varuna, that is Adishesha, the thousand hooded snake, because he dwells in that region, Abhihwala, not perturbed or fatigued, that is, by her grace, Adishesha is not fatigued in supporting the universe. The Vishnu Purana says, in the Varuna regions, he, Adishesha, worships Devi with his own glorious body. Varuni, the juice extracted from dates, called Varuni because the god Varuna is fond of it. The expression means forgetting external objects and simply enjoying, literally chewing, Swatmananda or Varuni Mat, those who conquered the Varuni Nadi and became firm. Avihvala. The Yoga Shastra says Varuni Nadi is that which is above and below, going everywhere. Pushan is the deity of the quarters, and Vayu is the deity of his Varuni Nadi.
विश्वादिका वेदवेद्या विन्ध्याचलनिवासिनी विधात्री वेदजननी विष्णुमाया विलासिनी.
Universe. Vishwadhika. Vishwa. The categories from earth to Shiva. The Shruti says Rudra, the great seer, transcends to the universe, to be known through the Vedas. Veda Vedya. Vedas are Rig Veda, Yajus, Saman, and Atharvan. The Shruti, Kaivalya Upanishad, Part 2, Verse 3. I alone am to be known from all the Vedas. The Smriti, Bhagavad Gita, chapter 15, verse 15, also repeats the same. Or, there are four gates to the Chintamani palace. These are the four Vedas, as the deity cannot be seen unless the gates are entered. Hence, it is said she is to be known through the Vedas alone. The Shruti, Taittiriya Brahmandam, the great quarter, the east, it is said to be of the Rik. The endless southern quarter, they say, is that of the Yajus, the west of the Atharvan, and the great northern quarter is that of the Saman. The meaning is that Devi should be known through the four goddesses who are the deities of the four Vedas, namely Shuddha Vidya and others, Saubhagya and others, Lopamudra and others, and Turiyamba and others. who are the deities of Rig, Yajus, Atharvan, and Saman, respectively, residing in the Vindhyan mountain. Vindhyachala Nivasini, the Padma Purana says in the chapter enumerating the sacred palaces. Sita is in the Trikuta mountain and the Vindhya Divasini in the Vindhya mountain. The Pancharatra in the Lakshmi Tripurasundari says in the Vaivasva Mantvantara, two Daityas, Shumba and Nishumbha, over-related by their boons, will do injury to the Devas, born in the Nanda Gopa's family, in the womb of Yashoda, I, under the name of Nanda, residing in the Vindhyan mountain, shall destroy these two. The same story is repeated in the Markandeya Purana. Supporter, Vidhatri, nourisher of the universe. The Devi Purana says Dhatri is known as the mother because she bears, or the wife of Brahma. Vidhatr, or V, much. Dhatri, myrobalan, because she is fond of myrobalance. Mother of the Vedas, Veda Janani. The Shruti, Mandokya Upanishad, Part 1, verses 1 to 5, say, the Vedas are the breath of this great being. Purusha Sukta also says, Riks and Samans came out from him. The Devi Purana also says, because these arose from the Kundalini, which is triangular in form, the vowels and consonants, hence she is the mother of the Vedas. Maya of Vishnu, Vishnu Maya, Vishnu, all pervading, unlimited by place, time, etc. The Maya conditions or limits Vishnu, or the Maya illusion belonging to Vishnu. The Bhagavad Gita, chapter 7, verse 14 says, this my divine illusion, consisting of gunas, is very difficult to transcend. The Kalika Purana also says, Vishnu Maya is that which differentiates everything into manifested and unmanifested according to the tamas, rajas, and sattva qualities. Playful, vilasini, vilasa, that power of protection, vikshepa shakti, which she possesses. Vilasa may mean a special power called Pitha Shakti or Bila. As there is no difference between the syllable V and B, the Brahmarandra in Sahasrara has to reside, there is explained in the Swachanda Tantra. There one know the cavity of Brahman, Brahmarandra, surrounded by millions of Rudras. This is another Shakti called Brahmani, seated on the lap of Brahman, obstructing the door, the path of salvation. 16th verse divides 38 names. Her body is a matter of kshetra, kshetra swarupa.
क्षेत्रस्वरूपा क्षेत्रेशी क्षेत्रक्षेत्रज्ञपालिनी क्षयवृद्धिविनिर्मुक्ता क्षेत्रपालसमर्चिता विजया विमला वन्द्या वन्दारुजनवत्सला वाग्वादिनी वामकेशी वह्निमण्डलवासिनी भक्तिमत्कल्पलतिका पशुपाशविमोचनी संहृता शेषपाषण्डा सदाचारप्रवर्तिका.
Vijaya, like said before, can be knowledge itself. According to the Devi Purana, she is the deity of Kashmira, which is one of the 68 sacred places. As regards the meaning of Vijaya, the same book says, after conquering the very powerful king of the Daityas, named Padma, She is known in the three worlds by the epithet Vijaya, ever victorious, and Aparajita, unconquerable, or Vijaya is the name of a building mentioned in the Vishwakarma Shastra. According to the Chintamani, Vijaya is an auspicious hour in the month Ashvina, in the 10th day of the bright fortnight, when the stars appear. That time is known as Vijaya, giving success to undertakings. In the Ratna Kosha, we read the time just after the twilight, Sandhya, when the stars begin to shine, is called Vijaya, favorable to all undertakings. The 11th Muhurta, 8 hours and 48 minutes after midday, is named Vijaya. A journey should be begun at that time by all who desire success. Unsullied, Vimala, Mala, impurity, belongs to avidya. According to Padma Purana, Vimala is the deity of sacred place, Purushottama, or Vimala. The Vishwakarma Shastra enumerates the following houses: Dhurva, Dhanya, Jaya, Kanta, Vipula, Vijaya, Sumukha, Vimala, Nanda, Nidhana, and Manorama. Adorable, Vandya, fond of worshippers, Vandarujanuvatsala, the speaker of the world, Vagvadini, or Vagvadini is a certain deity so called. The Tripura Siddhanta says, as she always abides in the form of speech on the tongue of all her devotees, she is known in the world as Vagvadini. The Lagustva also says, since thou art the origin of all words, thou art known in the world as Vagvadini, having beautiful hair, Vamakeshi, or Vamaka, men, and Isha, Lord, that is Shiva. His wife is Vamakeshi. According to the Devi Purana, Vamakesha is the deity of Jata, one of the 68 sacred places, and his wife is Vamakeshi, or Vamakesha, is one of the 28 tantras promulgated by Shiva, as she is treated of in that work. She is Vamakeshi, residing in the circle of fire, Vahni Mandalavasini. Vahni Mandala is that in the Mooladhara, or that in the supreme ether, Paramakosha, or Vahni means three, hence three mandalas. Thus, she resides in the three circle of the moon, the sun, and the fire, the kalpa creeper of the devotees. Bhakti Matkalpa Lakita. The kalpa creeper yields everything desired, or kalpa means imperfect. That is, she makes perfect, literally, lata, spread over her imperfect devotees, or lata, musk. She sheds fragrance on her devotees. According to Rabasa, lata means heart pea, musk, jasmine, and pani grass. The meaning is that she gladdens her imperfect, literally meaning half, devotees by the gift of all devotion. This is mentioned in the Shakti Rahasya. He who worships Bhavani irregularly or with imperfect devotion in the next birth becomes possessed of regular and perfect devotion, releasing the ignorant from bondage. Pashupasha Vimochindi. Pashu, literally meaning cattle, are those who are devoid of conviction, of non separation, Abheda Jnana. The Brahmanda Upanishad, Part 1, verse 4 says, now he worships another deity, thinking the deity is one and himself another individual. He does not know. He is like a Pashu. Here, the word Yonyam, Yah, one and Anya, another deity, means the triangular Sri Chakra, because the Shruti, Taittiriya Upanishad, says in that golden three-petaled bud, three-syllable mantra that is of Devi is established. Hence, the Pashus are those who are devoid of wisdom. Pasha, bondage. Pa, thirst. Asha, hunger. This hunger and thirst belongs only to the ignorant, and she, we, completely mochini releases. The ignorant people are called Pashus because they possess the desire of eating and drinking only. The Shruti says, now the other Pashus understand only hunger and thirst. They do not speak of the known, Brahman. They do not see the known. They do not know the future, nor this, nor the world. Or Pashu, Avyaya, indeclinable, means completely as in Shruti, Samyagarthe, etc. The word Pashu is thus explained. Pasha, the noose of Varuna, from which she frees her devotees. Pasha, dice, V, much, mochini, throwing. The meaning is that in gambling with Shiva, while throwing the dice on the board, she conquered him. Pashupa, the protector, Pa, of Pashus, that is, the supreme Shiva. Asha, those who desire to obtain Shiva, such ones she emancipates, Mochini, entirely. We, Pashus, all things from Brahma to a tree, because they have the quality of Pashus, that is, the desire of eating and drinking. Pasha, avidya, because it is the means of bondage. The Saurasam, explaining the word avidya, says, it is the cause of all the bondage. Or Pashas, the modifications. 7, or the categories. 16 of it, avidya. Vimochini, she releases them by means of devotion to Shiva. The Linga Purana says, from Brahma to trees are the Pashus of the trident bearer, the god of gods, because they all have the nature of beasts, Pashus, the 24 categories, including illusion, Maya, action, Karman, and the qualities, Gunas, and the objects also are called Pashus because they bind the Jivas. Bound by these, all embodied souls are emancipated by devotion to Shiva alone. There are fivefold afflictions, namely nescience, egoism, desire, anger, ardent attachment to life. Nescience is the absence of discrimination between the self and the non self. Egoism is the assumption that body, etc., which are not self, are self. Desire is the craving after flowers, scents, etc., which are the means of bodily enjoyment. Anger is the aversion to whatever obstructs the attainment of them. Ardent attachment is not renouncing a thing even though one knows it is not beneficial. The same is explained in the Yoga Sutra, part 3, verses 3 to 9. But the Devi Bhagavata Purana says, the non discrimination is darkness, tamas. Bewilderment of mind is confusion, moha. Desire of worldly pleasures is great confusion, Mahamoha. Death is deep indignation, Anandati and anger is called indignation, Tamishra. Thus, nescience which sprung from the great Atman, Brahman, is fivefold. But here, words tamas, etc., are only different names for the five afflictions mentioned above. Death here corresponds to ardent attachment of Yoga Sutra division. This is explained in the Linga Purana. O best of men, the wise say that nescience, egoism, desire, hatred, and ardent attachment. These five are the pashas. The learned say the afflictions of five, namely darkness, confusion, great confusion, deep indignation, and confusion. Nishines, they say, is darkness. Egoism is confusion. Desire is great confusion. Attachment to life is deep indignation. And hatred is indignation. The divisions are eight kinds of darkness, eight of confusion, 10 of great confusion, 18 of deep indignation, and 8 of indignation. These are in all 52. Some say that indignation has 10 more, making 62 in all. These 62 afflictions differ according to the three kinds of men, Pashus, namely the worldly men, the ascetics, yogins, and the knowers of the truth, Tattvajnana. The Devi Bhagavata Purana says, in the knowers of the truth, these afflictions sleep. In the yogins, they are burned up. In those attached to worldly objects, they arise unimpeded. The Kularnava says the Pashas are eight, namely pity, doubt, fear, shame, disgust, family, custom, and caste. The above enumeration of the afflictions are not contradictory. The larger are simply elaborators of the smaller enumerations. These larger divisions are not explained in detail for fear of prolixity. Thus, in the text, the word Pasha, according to the rule of Vararuchi's system, though it indicates the number 51, Sha 5, and Pa 1, is here taken according to the rule of approximity of 5. So we have here 52 in number. Thus, we see in the first verse, Nityananda Vapuh, etc., of the Saradalitiklaka, where the word 50 occurs. It is explained as 52 by Harshadikshita and others. Therefore, Pashu means 52. Pashas, afflictions, Vimochini, remover. The Shivarahasya says, he alone who binds the Pashus by the five afflictions and the 52 Pashas is able, being worshipped with much devotion, to free them. So much for Paurnanika interpretation, or atoms, Anu, difference, Bheda, and action, Karman, are the three Pashus. Of these, ignorance is Anu. This is of two kinds. The one is the absence of the cognition of the nature of the self, which is intelligence itself. The second is the erroneous cognition of the self in body, etc. These two are together called the impurity of Anu, Anarvamala. Anu is so called because it limits the unlimited self. This is said in a Saurasam. It is called Anu because it causes the limitation of the self. As it is impure, it is called impurity, Mala, Kshetra, Kamarupa, and other abodes, or 36 categories, from earth to Shiva. These form her body. The Linga Purana says, Devi, the wife of the destroyer of the three cities, that is Shiva, becomes Kshetra, matter. The divine and eternal Lord, the death of death, is knower of the bodies. The wife of the ruler of matter, Kshetrashi, the protector of matter, and the knower of matter, Kshetra Kshetrajna Palini, Kshetrajna, is the Jiva. The Vishnu Smriti says, this body, O earth, is called Kshetra. One who knows this is called Kshetrajna. O fair one, know me as the Kshetrajna in all bodies. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna teaches the same thing to Arjuna, chapter 13, verses 1 and 2. The Linga Purana, the wise call the 24 categories Kshetra, and the enjoyer thereof the Kshetrajna. But the Vayu Purana says the unmanifested Avyakta is called Kshetra, Brahman, Kshetrajna. The Brahma Purana says Kshetras are the bodies, the soul united with them. Yogatman, the enjoyer, according to his pleasure, is called Kshetrajna. The Manusmriti, part 12, verses 12 to 15, say, He who is the cause of action of the embodied souls, they call him the Kshetrajna. Him who performs the actions, the wise name Bhutatman, the self consisting of elements. Another internal self that is generated with all that is bodied is called Jiva, through which he, the Kshetrajna, feels all pleasure and pain in the bodies. These two, the Great One and the Kshetrajna, who are closely united with the elements, pervade him who resides in all beings, great and small. From his body innumerable bodies arise, which constantly impel the multiform creatures to action, free from decay and growth. Kshayavriddhivinirmukta. Growth and decay belong to Kshetra and changing. Through she controls them. She is not free from them. The Bhagavad Gita, part 2, verse 23, says, Weapons do not cut, etc. Or she is free from these two, which are the result of actions. The Shruti Brahmanda Upanishad, part 4, verse 4 says, This is the eternal glory of the knower of Brahman. He neither increases by action nor becomes less, neither becomes more by good actions nor less by bad ones. Worshipped by Kshetrapala, Kshetrapala Samarchita, Kali was created by Shiva to slay the Daitya, Daruka. Even after killing him, the fire of her wrath was not appeared. Seeing the confusion of the world, Shiva, in order to dispel her anger, assumed the form of crying infant. She suckled the child who drank up the fire of her anger with milk. This child, which is the incarnation of Shiva, is called Kshetrapala. This story occurs in the Linga and other Puranas. The literal meaning is Kshetra is the precinct of the sacrificial ceremony, and Pala, the protector. Ever victory's Vijaya, or Vijaya, is the knowledge itself.
तापत्रयाग्निसन्तप्ता समाह्लादनचन्द्रिका तरुणी तापसाराध्या तनुमध्या तमोपहा.
The three miseries are that belong to body, to elements, to deities. Fire, samsara, the man free from it becomes as the Shruti. Brahmanda Upanishad, part 4, verse 4 says, without decay and immortal, ever young, Taruni, worshipped by ascetics. Tapasaradhya or Tapa, Samsara, the father of misery. Sara, essence. Deep. Dhya, meditation. That is, Devi is the essential object of meditation amidst the earthly misery. Slender waist. Tanu Madhya. Tanu Madhya is the deity worshipped in the country of Kanchi, for it is said, May Devi, Tanu Madhya, the wife of Bilveshwara, residing on the bank of the Neva river, to protect me. Tanu Madhya is the name of a certain meter. Pingala Sutra says, if there is one Tagana and Yagana in each foot, it is called Tanu Madhya. Remover of darkness, Tamopaha. Tamas, ignorance. The Isha Upanishad says, they who worship ignorance enter blind darkness. The Brahma Purana also says, the Aranyaka Shruti, Taittiriya Upanishad, blames all who worship except that of Vidya.
चितिस्तत्पदलक्ष्यार्था चिदेकरसरूपिणी स्वात्मानन्दलवीभूता ब्रह्माद्यानन्दसन्ततिः
Intelligence, Chit. Chit is wisdom open to avidya. The Shakti Sutra. Chit is independent and the cause of the establishment of the universe. The Mahavashishta, she, Devi, is called Chit because she is the life of those who desire life. She is what is meant by the term Tat. Tatpada Lakshya Ratha. Tat, the word which occurs in the transcendental phrases, means the conditioned Brahman endowed with the work of creation, etc., of the universe. The same word, Tat, also indicates indirectly Lakshya, unconditioned Brahman, who is without attributes. The relation between the two Brahmans, unconditioned and conditioned, is the sameness, Tadatmaya, the one essence of intelligence, Chidekara Swarupini. But even the unconditioned Brahman has the attributes of bliss, etc. To answer this question, this name is given: bliss, consciousness, and other attributes. The expression means that those attributes are inseparable from her. This is explained in the Panchapadika of Padma Padaracharya. Bliss, the perception of the objects, and eternity are attributes which, although inseparable from consciousness, appear as different, or unconditioned Brahman is not the real nature of Ishvara, conditioned one, because both are different. Hence, the relation between the two, just described above, is not possible. To remove this doubt, this name is introduced: Chidekara Suribi. That is, she is Chideka Sarupini. She is ever non separated from Chit. The relation of these two is possible as the two are one and the same. Though the two appear as different by attributes, yet at the same time they are one. The totality of bliss of Brahma, etc., is but a minute portion of her own bliss. Swatmanandalavi Bhuta Brahma Dhyananda Samtakti. This bliss of Indra and others is but a drop in the ocean in comparison with the bliss of Devi, Brahma, etc. Brahma, Vishnu, Rudra, who possess the quality of creation, preservation, and destruction. The Shruti Taittiriya Upanishad, Part 2, verse 8 says, other beings live on a mere part of this bliss. Again, the same Shruti from man's bliss more and more in the higher grades, describing includes among the bliss of the Devas the bliss of Prajapati also, as it is limited and as it is less than the bliss of unconditioned Brahman, and the consequently unfit for human aspiration, and establishes that the bliss of Brahman alone is unlimited. The meaning is that the word Tat indicates the unconditioned Brahman in order to agree with authorities, scriptures, which establish the meaning of them by the rule of beginning, etc., the Upakrama, etc., as the knowledge as the means of Purusharthas. Lava, according to the Vishwa, means particle and sport.